Hey, what's up, guys? Eli Fishman here, back with another interview, and today I'm very glad to be joined by Will Crowe, Washington Nationals pitcher. Will, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Of course. So, where are you right now, and what's the situation? Last I saw, you were waiting to get cleared to head to camp.
Yeah, so I'm in Fredericksburg right now. Today was actually day one of my training, I guess. We had a weird couple 2 weeks, with the intake and everything, and then had to pass some protocols, with DC and things. So was able to get out on the field today. It was the first time, throw a little bit. It's definitely a different situation, but yeah, at the alternate site, they're going to let me get my arm back into shape a little bit. I think they didn't really know how much I'd been able to throw with me being quarantining and stuff. So I was actually throwing every day into a brick wall, but it's kind of funny. But I'm back, and we're in Fredericksburg in a hotel, and just getting ready for this season, man.
We're talking about the intake, how it was delayed. Was it the test that was delayed? Were you in contact with someone with the virus? What was the situation?
So I was actually in Charleston, and my wife had this just weird cough. It was every hour she would cough one time. It was nothing. You think that's just normal allergies, whatever. And the next day she woke up and had no sense of taste or smell. So we were like, all right, this isn't good. We're going to get you a test. So we got her a test on Monday. I was in the car actually leaving Charleston to head to DC. This was, I guess, the last day of June. And her test results came back and positive. So I called the team. They were like, hey, stay home. Don't leave. You need to go get tested. I went and got tested. I was asymptomatic and everything, but I was positive. So they were like, you just need to quarantine at home. Stay there. Don't come up here, because in DC, if you're in contact with anybody, the rules are you're not allowed to leave your room. Even if you're a negative, I think we had some guys that were just in contact with people, and they had to stay in their hotel rooms, even though they were getting negative tests. It's just the rules. So they were like, you quarantine at home, and then 4, 5, 6 tests later, throughout 2 weeks, I got 2 negatives. And was able to come up, do my intake, and then got those results late last night, and those were negative. So I was able to kind of get into the bubble scheme, for an example, and get going, be able to work out and play, and get back into the groove of things.
As someone who had it and your wife had it, first of all, how is she? How is everything? And also, what'd you learn from the virus? Because everyone talks about how unpredictable and crazy it can be.
So yeah, definitely unpredictable. My wife is good. She had 2 days where it was a little cough, and then she had backaches, and she was in it. It made her feel pretty bad for a Saturday and a Sunday, but she's doing good. We're back to normal, And for me, I was asymptomatic. I was going to the only really place I was going was the gym. I was going to my gym. They were cleaning 3 times a day at my gym with the special people, and they were taking my temperature every day, and I never had a temperature. So, and she didn't either. She never had a fever either. So it was weird. I mean, this, like you said, it's very unpredictable. It's just after you've went through it and you've thought about it and figured it out, or you think you have, you just realize that anybody you come in contact with can have it. I felt great. I was down 6 pounds from spring training 1. I was doing 30, 45 minutes of cardio a day, getting back into my weight routine of working out really hard after not being able to go to gyms for 6 weeks. I was feeling really, really good. And to have a test come back as positive, it was wow, who do I come in contact with every day that I don't even know has it? And they're just walking around and could be giving it to other people or not. And at the same time, I could have been doing that. And you reflect on it, you're you never know. So it's just a thing, wear your mask, social distance, do everything you can. We've bought all the hand sanitizers and are washing our hands more. And I think that really helps, and just like being aware that it's this like invisible giant that like nobody has any idea of what's going on with it. And they're doing all the work and the testing to figure it out, but it's going to take a while. And until they really get a grip on it and really know how it's going to react to different people, we just need to kind of, hey, if we lose a summer and we lose a fall, that's okay. But like if you wear your mask and stuff and this thing doesn't linger on for years and years, like that's what really matters. And like keeping people safe and healthy and kind of trying to get back to our day to day quicker than it's been so far.
With all of that in mind, does it make you maybe less confident about the MLB season, seeing how dangerous and quiet it can be? Because there's already been so much controversy and guys coming out and saying they don't feel comfortable opting out, all that.
So I don't want to say I don't think the MLB season will happen, because the protocols are really, really like good. What they've done and how they're social distancing and doing things are meant to protect the player and like make sure we aren't transmitting it. And I think it comes down to the guys that are going to be playing, like being smart. You can't go out and go to dinners and things. You gotta stay in, and for 75 days or 90 days or however long it may be, the end of the season is October 27th. So you're looking at 3 months from now, right? Yeah. So like for the next 90 days, however that may be, like we as players have to give up some things that maybe we would usually do for the better of the season. And I think a lot of the guys have gripped onto that and really understood like, hey, we can do this, but we have to, when we're outside of the field, that's when it matters. And the protocols are in place to help us, but I think the players have realized that we as a group collectively have to be smart about it. And I think everyone who's in these 60-man pools and that are talking about it are going about it the right way. Wear your mask, wash your hands, do what you can to keep everyone safe. And we're going to be able to have this season and give the country something to watch and something to rally behind.
Have Rizzo and some of the veteran guys on the team reached out to yourself and some other guys on the team, telling you guys to be careful? Is there a lot of veteran leadership making sure that those protocols are being followed?
Yeah, I mean they're sending us the memos. They're making sure that we're like being smart. Even I was at home, I had some guys reach out, making sure me and my wife are okay. You got guys that are especially on our club with Max and Sean, who went through all the meetings to figure out how we were going to play and all these things. They do a good job of like making sure the words pass down and keeping like, keeping it lax and keeping it comfortable and keeping us ready, but also at the same time, like, hey, this is what it's going to be, a different year, but we just gotta push forward and keep everyone safe.
What's the overall? You've only been there for one day, but what was the feel like at camp today? How was it? Weird? Was it okay?
Dude, it's weird. It's like I'm in one of the locker room. We use them both locker rooms so we can like social distance. So there's like 3 guys in my locker room. There's like 8 in the other. Like they schedule us to get there at 9, and I got there a little early since I was able to like get in finally. I got there like 10 minutes early, and it was like, you're not allowed in here until 9 o'clock. Like very like everything is so like time based, and they don't want a lot of us at the field at the same time because of the virus, and like they want to keep us like separated as much. So like stretching, there's like cones that are all like 6 feet apart, and like you have your own line, like you don't get out of your line, and like you have your own set of baseballs, and like you and your partner can use like 2 balls, but like once you're done, you put it in the used ball bucket. Like it's weird, man. It's definitely like a different feel, but it calls for the time, with everything going on. You got to be super safe. You can't be passing it, and with the testing, you're not learning if you have it like the day of. Like you take a test and you get like 24 to 36 hours after that test is when you get your results. So you could have 2 workouts and not know if you have it or not. So it's definitely weird. They're just trying to take all the necessary precautions to make sure that we don't get sick. And like it's odd, but it's really good for us players because we don't want to get it and we don't want to transmit it or give it to other people, you know. So their protocols are there for a reason, and as long as we abide by them, I think the 60-game season and this year it's going to be different, but we're going to be able to get it in.
Since I'm sure you're sick of the virus, let's talk more about yourself. What can Nationals fans expect from you? Talk to me about yourself on the bump.
So I mean, I fastball, fastball, changeup, slider, curveball. Not nothing out of the norm. I think that's kind of what every starting pitcher is gonna bring to the table. But just I competitor, man. I'm gonna go after people. Whether I'm facing best player in baseball or my brother in the backyard, I want to win. And I hate losing more than I like winning. So I guess that might put me into a different, like, that's a better way to look at it. But whether I'm playing chess, checkers, baseball, what it is, I might be playing my wife in a little phone game. I want to win, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there and compete and be a bulldog and grind out some innings, grind out some hitters, and whatever is asked of me, I'm going to give them 110% and do whatever I can to, like I said, help the team win.
You absolutely dominated in spring training 1.0. 1.35 ERA. What did that tell you about your skill going up against some of the top hitters in the world and that you were dominating them?
So a big thing for me is last year in spring I was like, holy crap, I'm facing X, Y, and Z. This is so-and-so. I've grown up my whole life watching like so-and-so, and this year it was more like, hey, I belong. I went to AA. I was in AAA. I faced a bunch of people that had the background and the pedigrees and, the names. And it was more of it's a mental side, like, hey, I belong here. I can get guys out at this level, and I know that. So, like, go out here and pitch like that. And that's what I did. And I was able to get guys out, be a like you said, I had a good spring training 1.0. So it shows that I'm available, I'm ready, and that when my time comes, I'm gonna step up on the mound and be able to handle my own.
What's your mental approach when you step on the bump? What are you thinking? Batter steps in the batter's box, look and get your sign. What's going through your head?
Really, just go after them. My stuff is good enough to get anybody out, and so it's be where your feet are. Be where that's a big thing for me. Is like wherever my feet are, like I can't be anywhere else. Like. So grounded. I always think like grounded. I was big into the mental side this spring training with our mental guy Soup, and that's what Mark Campbell. We call him Soup, but he that was a big thing for him. Is like if you ever get like where your mind's going different places, just think of your feet, because your mind can never be where your feet aren't. Because then if you think of the ground, that's where you are. So be in that moment. So for me, it's just I'm going to be in the moment. I'm going to get my sign. I'm going to execute this pitch, and then the outcome of it is going to happen. Like you can't control that. All I can control is what I do from when I start my windup to when I release the ball. So doing that as efficiently as I can, and with everything that I got, with all the intent, then hey, the outcomes are going to happen. You take the next one, you take them as they come, you go to the next pitch. And for me, it's just being a bulldog and using those mental aspects of being where my feet are and go after this guy, and whatever happens, happens.
What are you thinking about like the season overall in terms of both being played, but also, for yourself?
So I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get the 60 games in. We're going to have a good season. It's going to be a sprint. It's different. You can't have those 5-6 game losing streaks, man. They're going to be that's like a 20 gamer almost in a regular season. So it's going to be different. I think there's going to be more moves and like more opportunities, because you can't, some guys you can't like wait for a guy to get into his groove. It's got to be wins, So, and for me, it's just to be ready. I got a little delayed start with this spring training 2.0, if you want to call it. I'm a little two weeks behind or whatever, but just to show them that I'm ready and that when my time comes to grab the bull by the horns, as they say, and go get them. Go show them that I'm ready for a spot. I'm ready to pitch in the big leagues, and I'm ready to help them win.
Are you a big pitcher who pitches behind the fans? Does the fans energize you a little bit more when, 2 outs and you got to get one guy out before reach your limit or whatever? So is it going to be weird with no fans? And
so in college, I played in front of like 7,000 fans every home game in South Carolina, so in college, I would have said yes. Like, I need the fans. Like, I feed off of them, like the energy, the enthusiasm. And then I get drafted and I go to Auburn, New York, and we play in front of like 12 people. And like 6 of them were the girlfriends. Like, at the time, it was my girlfriend and like 4 of my teammates' girlfriends. And then like in the stands, you have the 4 charters and the video guys. So you're really playing in front of like 6 people. So like, you learn how to play that. And for me, that was only 2 years ago or 3 years ago now. So I learned how to pitch without that and kind of go about it. So for me, it's not going to be too different. I've never played in front of 40,000 people. I've never had that. So I don't think it's going to bother me as much as it might some guys, but I still think it might bother them a little bit, but we're competing for a championship, right? And if there's a championship on the line, it doesn't matter if nobody's watching you or 100 million people are watching you. Because I promise, if you turn on the video or turn on the stats of how many people are watching at home, there's going to be tens of millions of people watching at home. So you still got that pressure of guys are behind you, guys want to win, and there's people watching you at home on TV. So you don't want to fail because everyone's trying to be great,
Are you mad as a pitcher in the NL that the universal DH is gone, or did you like or not like getting a hit?
So I loved hitting. I really enjoy hitting, and like it takes my mind off the game. When like you're in the middle of like pitching, like 5th inning, you're like, all right, all you're thinking about is getting guys out, and then you're able to go up to the plate and like, even if you look dumb, it's like your mind can like breathe a little bit, so not having it this year, I get it. It makes sense because it does prevent injuries, and like with not having a full spring training and a full ramp up, like it makes total sense for this year. And then I know next year, I think it goes back to normal for at least next year, but they might get rid of it after the CBA following next season. But yeah, I love hitting, man. I hope we get to keep it, and it's a cool part of the game.
All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on today. Really, really appreciate it, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. I had a great time, and I love your setup. It's cool. You got your own little studio, man. It's sick. It's really cool.